Hello, welcome to another Cook With Me gluten-free. I'm Robin and I'm so glad you're back. We are going to use that pie crust that we made last week to make a delicious quiche. So if you're planning a brunch or a breakfast, you can really eat quiche for dinner, right? It's so delicious. This is going to be the best gluten-free quiche you have ever made. You can serve it to anybody, I promise. They will never know that it's gluten-free. It's so, so delicious. So let's jump right over to our ingredients. Well, our ingredients are pretty simple today. The heavy lifting was the crust, right? So now that we've got the crust made, if you don't have crust made, then jump to the previous recipe where we made the perfect gluten-free crust. So we've got 1.25 cups of half and half. We've got half of a large red onion or a small red onion chopped. We've got 2 tablespoons of butter here and 4 eggs. Our 4 eggs are at room temperature. So make sure, as well as our half and half. So let this sit out and get to room temperature before you start mixing. I am using a combination of shredded gruyere and Swiss cheese today. We've got our salt and our pepper. That's a half teaspoon of each. Half teaspoon salt, half teaspoon pepper, and 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and 4 slices of thick cut bacon. I made that bacon today and just took my kitchen shears and chopped it right up. So that's it. We're gonna put these ingredients together. Our oven is heated today to 350 degrees. So now would be a good time. Because all of this cooks up pretty fast, it's gonna go right into the oven quickly if you already have your pie crust baked. All right, let's get to sauteing our ingredients. Okay, I've got my burner set to high and I'm gonna go ahead and add in our 2 tablespoons of butter and let that melt. What we're doing here, we're sauteing our onions, and I like to add the bacon into the saute at the end. Once this butter is melted, we're also gonna add in our extra virgin olive oil. Remember, that was 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And we're gonna saute the onions, and again, at the last few, seconds, minute, we're gonna add in our bacon. So here is the olive oil and the butter together. Let me tell you, the olive oil and the butter together, it just provides for a really nice saute. I can see I got a little bubble, so I'm gonna add my onions in. And again, roughly half of a large or a small red onion. You can use a yellow onion, a white onion, whatever you like. I just personally prefer red onions. So we're gonna let this saute. If you are cooking vegetarian, you certainly can just make this vegetables. It does not have to have bacon. You can use onions, mushrooms, peppers, all kinds of delicious ingredients. So these are starting to soften a little bit. I'm gonna turn down my stove so these don't cook too fast. But when I see them kind of taking on a little bit of a translucent appearance, the red onions, they almost turn a little pink when they're sauteing, and they get a little bit soft. So I'll let these saute a couple more tosses, and then I'm gonna toss in the bacon as well. And this is 4 strips of thick cut bacon. You certainly don't have to use thick cut. You can use regular bacon. You might just need a little bit more. I like the hardiness of a thick cut piece of bacon. You can see there how thick it is. It just adds for a nice bite, and it doesn't overwhelm the quiche. All right, here we go. Bacon is in. Now once this is all sauteed together, we're gonna set that off to the side, and we're going to mix up, whisk our eggs and our half and half, our salt, our pepper. We'll whisk all that together, and then we're gonna start building our quiche and putting that in the oven. And remember, your oven is set to 350 degrees, preheating, so that it's ready to go. Oh, the smell. I wish you could smell what I smell. Oh my goodness. It's so, so good. Okay, this is nice and soft, so we're gonna sit this off to the side and work with our eggs. Turn that burner off. 4 eggs. Now, we're gonna mix in our cream too, but I like to give my eggs a quick whisk before adding in my cream. We're also gonna add our salt and pepper to our eggs while we're whisking. Now remember, any recipe that I do is completely fluid. You can add in less salt, more pepper, less pepper. And again, eggs and half and half are at room temperature. All right, so that is nice and mixed. Okay, we are back with our pie crust. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take half of the cheese, about half of the cheese, and fill the bottom of our pie crust. And once I think that's about half of my cheese there. And this is 8 ounces of Gruyere and Swiss, 8 ounces. You can buy it pre-shredded like I did, or you can shred it by hand. I do a little bit of both. Now this is my egg mixture. I put it back in my measuring cup to make it easier to pour. So once the cheese is in, we're gonna take our mixture from our pan, and we're gonna just sprinkle that into the pie crust. Kind of evenly distribute that. I don't want to get too much of the oil, so I'm kind of pressing it up against the edge to not get all the oil in there. There we go, and we can always move it around. If it doesn't get where you want it to go, you can always adjust at the end. But we want to get every bit of this yumminess out of there. Let's throw some over there. And again, if you don't have your oven on, you want to preheat that to 350. So I'm just going to kind of spread that out just a little bit to make sure it's nice and even throughout before I pour on my egg mixture. There we go. Now that's on. And now I am pouring the egg mixture right over the top. I just kind of go back and forth, back and forth. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to pour quiche filling, but it sure does look beautiful inside this crust. All right, and you see some of those seasonings are starting to settle at the bottom. So I'm giving this measuring cup a good swirl to make sure that I get all those yummy seasonings incorporated throughout this quiche. There we go. Then we're going to take our remaining cheese and we're going to add it right to the top. I mean, this looks great already. Cannot wait until this is done. All right. Got that kind of sprinkled nice and even. Okay, this is going in the oven for 35 minutes. 35 minutes. But like I always say, everyone's oven is different. So put it in for 30 minutes and give it a check. Make sure that it's not overcooking. But at 35 minutes, if you find that it's undercooked, we want it to be firm. It's going to continue cooking and setting up even after you take it out, but definitely give it a check at the 30-minute mark just in case. So this is going in the oven, and I'll see you back when it's out. Okay, the time has come. Look at our quiche. Doesn't it look amazing? And it's a little bit brown on the top. We're gonna let this sit. Oh, look at the edges. Oh, look how delicious that looks. We're gonna let this sit on a cooling rack for at least 20 minutes prior to serving. So 20 minutes, we're gonna let that sit, gonna let it cool, then we're gonna come back and we're gonna get a taste of this delicious quiche. Oh, I wish it could cool faster. 20 minutes is gonna be a long wait. All right, so it is out of the oven here. I almost took a bite before I was on camera, which is a big no-no because it looks so delicious. Okay, before I take a bite, let me show it to you. On the inside, you can see how well and nicely it's set up. Oh, look at that. Yummy. Okay, my favorite part, of course, the taste. So we'll go through our ingredients again. Obviously it's a quiche, so we used eggs, but we've got bacon and red onion, and we used the recipe. The crust recipe is last week's Cook With Me gluten-free video. So if you need to make the perfect crust, go to last week's video. Then you'll use this video for the delicious quiche filling. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. This is phenomenal. Man, that crust is so good. And I like a little extra crust, which is why I put mine around the edge. But even just the crust, the crust by itself is so delicious. I mean, I'm known for only taking one bite, but this is really good quiche. I'm not rating, but it's pretty much 10 out of 10 if I were to rate. Anyway, I hope you try this quiche recipe. Make sure to like and subscribe and let me know, what do you want me to make? What do you want me to make? I think I'm going to try some gluten-free items. We did the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits, which turned out so good, just using the box recipes. So we'll find a few more things like that, just in case you're wondering, what does this taste like, but you don't wanna spend the money. Thanks for joining me on this Cook With Me gluten-free, and we will see you next time. Bye.